Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the military technology that's changing the world forever. I'm Mick. Now, have you ever noticed that when we talk about top-tier drones like the MQ-9 Reaper or the Global Hawk, the first things that come to mind are usually their cutting-edge tech, long-range surveillance cameras, or precision-guided missiles? We obsess over the sensors, the optics, and the smart weapons. We look at the specs on paper and think, wow, that's unbeatable. But believe it or not, amidst all that high-tech wizardry, there lies a massive hidden weakness. It's a fatal flaw that could cause even the most modern, most expensive Air Force to lose a war in a single day. It's not about complex electrical systems, and it's not about advanced signal jamming or cyber warfare. It's something as basic, as ancient, and as vulnerable as a runway. That's right, runways. In the brutal reality of modern warfare, massive airbases are essentially bomb magnets, the very first targets for cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, and swarms of suicide drones. In military terms, we call this the anti-access/area denial problem, or A2AD. Picture this. An enemy strike creates just 2 or 3 deep craters in a runway. Suddenly, those billion-dollar stealth fighter jets or top-tier spy drones become nothing more than expensive sitting ducks lined up for the enemy to destroy right there in the hangar. They can't take off, they can't fight, and they can't run. By the time the combat engineers repair that concrete, the critical phase of the war might already be over. This is the nightmare scenario keeping commanders awake at night around the globe. But today, I'm going to introduce you to a drone built to completely rewrite that rulebook. It doesn't care about pristine, long stretches of concrete. It doesn't need a standard airport with air traffic control towers and support vehicles. It was born to play in the dirt, wade through the mud, and carry a payload so heavy it makes its predecessors' jaws drop. This is the story of the General Atomics Mojave, the runway-free beast of the 21st century that is redefining the very concept of air power. If you look at the Mojave at a glance, it might feel familiar. That's not surprising because its airframe is evolved from its battle-hardened older brother, the MQ-1C Gray Eagle, which has seen extensive service with the U.S. Army. Its reliability is battle-proven. We know the engine works, we know the electronics work, but what makes the Mojave a completely different species is its wings. Imagine this. Engineers didn't just make the wings longer, they fundamentally redesigned them to grab the air like nothing else. They created high-lift wings equipped with double-slotted flaps and leading-edge slats, complex aerodynamic features you usually see on large commercial airliners or specialized bush planes, not on unmanned drones. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a total transformation of the flight profile. This gives it a capability other killer drones just don't have: extreme STOL, or short takeoff and landing. When I say short, the Mojave is shockingly short. It effectively defies physics for a bird this size. While a standard Reaper needs thousands of feet of prepared runway, the Mojave needs just a flat patch of dirt, a grassy field, or hard-packed sand. We're talking a distance of only 300 to 400 feet. That's just over 100 meters. To put that in perspective, that's shorter than the length of some soccer fields. You could technically launch this thing from a high school football field or a dirt road in the middle of nowhere if you had to. Plus, it comes with heavy-duty, wide-tread landing gear designed to absorb punishment, letting it land hard on rough, austere terrain without breaking a sweat. It lands like a bush plane, not a delicate piece of technology. This opens a massive strategic advantage called agile combat employment. It means the military can stuff a Mojave into a C-13 Hercules transport, drop it anywhere in the world, assemble it in just a few hours with a small crew of mechanics, and fly it right out of a dirt strip next to a forward operating base. No high-risk major airports required. This is the heart of expeditionary warfare, where agility equals survival. You move, you strike, and you move again before the enemy can even figure out where you launched from. Now, if you think short takeoffs is its only trick, you're dead wrong. Usually when aircraft trade runway length for performance, they lose payload capacity. You usually have to choose, carry a lot of stuff or take off short. Not this one. What's making the world stare at the Mojave is its insane firepower. Usually on older surveillance drones, you'd see maybe 4 Hellfire missiles, or 8 if they're really pushing the limits. But the Mojave is designed to be a literal flying arsenal. It can carry up to 16 AGM-114 Hellfire missiles. Yes, you heard that right. 16 anti-tank missiles in a single flight. To give you a clearer picture, that amount of firepower is equivalent to an entire AH-64 Apache attack helicopter. That is a staggering amount of ordnance. But there's a critical difference. An Apache requires 2 highly trained pilots risking their lives on the front lines, dodging ground fire and man-portable air defense systems. The Mojave can deliver that same devastating firepower while the pilot sips coffee in a secure container thousands of miles away via satellite link. It separates the risk from the reward. Imagine an enemy tank company or an armored convoy on the move. If they run into a loitering Mojave, it's absolute devastation. It can engage 16 individual targets, wiping out the entire column without needing to return to base to reload. And that's not counting its ability to carry gun pods, miniguns, or other guided munitions, with a total payload capacity of 3,600 pounds. It leaves other drones in its class in the dust. And even cooler is its versatility. It's not just a truck, it's a transformer. Let's say today you need a long-range recon mission. You just strip down the weapons, fill up the fuel tanks, and it can stay airborne for over 25 hours, acting as an eye in the sky with its eagle-eye radar, seeing through clouds, rain, and dust. But if the mission changes to close air support to help infantry pinned down by fire, you load it up to the max and fly it from a temporary base near the front lines. That's the kind of flexibility every commander dreams of. One platform, multiple missions. So, how does it stack up against the competition? Specifically, Turkey's Bayraktar TB3, which is making waves as a naval drone. The two have completely different design philosophies. The TB3 is designed for economy, efficiency, and specifically for ski jump carriers. The Mojave? It's pure American muscle, raw power, ruggedness, and maximum performance without compromise. Let's not just talk abstractly. Let me walk you through a spec-by-spec comparison between the General Atomics Mojave and the Bayraktar TB3, and we'll look at the estimated costs to see what budget you'd need to field these bad boys. Take a look at that payload line. This is where they separate the men from the boys. The Mojave carries 1.6 tons. The TB3, just 280 kilograms. That's a massive 6x difference. To use a simple analogy, it's like comparing a heavy-duty 4x4 pickup truck to a delivery scooter. They both work, they both get you there, but what they can haul is in a totally different league. The Mojave is hauling bricks. The TB3 is delivering pizza. Next, look at armament. The Mojave is practically a flying gunship carrying 16 Hellfires. It can wipe out a tank company in one sortie. The TB3 carries 6 smart munitions, which is impressive for its size, but it's a lighter weight class, intended for different targets, mostly lighter vehicles or infantry. But the most interesting part, the magic trick, is the takeoff roll. Notice that even though the Mojave is significantly heavier, carrying way more stuff, it takes off in roughly the same distance or even shorter than the TB3. That's the engineering genius General Atomics worked into those wings. They managed to make a heavyweight fighter dance like a lightweight. Seeing performance gaps like that, you might be leaning toward the Mojave, right? But hold on, world-class tech comes with a sticker price that might make your wallet cry. Look at that bottom line for the system cost. The numbers don't lie. Do you see the price difference for the same 6-aircraft system? We are talking about a double price tag. Quality costs money, and American engineering usually commands a premium. Now, you might be asking, hey Mick, this sounds legendary, but who's actually buying it? Is it real or just vaporware? I'll give it to you straight. As of right now, early 2026, the Mojave, officially the Gray Eagle STOL in production terms, is still technically a demonstrator. No army has a fully operational combat squadron of these yet today. It's cutting edge, which means it's bleeding edge. But don't click away, because back in October 2025, a massive deal went down. General Atomics partnered with Hanwha Aerospace from South Korea to co-produce this drone. Why South Korea? Think about their geography. It's full of rugged mountains, narrow valleys, and limited flat space. And they have a very aggressive neighbor to the north with thousands of tanks. They need a drone that lands easily and hits hard. The latest timeline suggests they will start flight testing the production version in 2027, with the first deliveries expected by 2028. This is huge because it signals that the program is moving from cool prototype to actual weapon system. As for the UK Royal Navy, they are still in the dating phase. They tried it on the HMS Prince of Wales, they loved it, it worked perfectly, but they haven't put a ring on it with an official purchase order yet due to budget shuffling. Bottom line, the Mojave is the hot new item currently on pre-order. If you buy now, you're looking at a 2028 delivery. So, here's the strategic dilemma for any defense minister watching. If you have a budget of $300 million, you could get one Mojave system full of devastating power, basically your own private Apache squadron that fits in a crate. But for that same money, you could buy 2 Bayraktar TB3 systems. That's 12 aircraft. That gives you way more coverage, more eyes on the horizon, and more assets to lose if things go wrong. It's the classic quality versus quantity debate. And there's a specific question I get asked a lot in the comments regarding small aircraft carriers like the HTMS Chakri Narubet. Mick, which one fits our ship better? How many can we park? The answer lies in the wings. If we choose the Bayraktar TB3, this thing was born for ships. It has folding wings. It packs down tight like naval fighters. You could comfortably fit 10 to 14 of them in the hangar deck. You can bring a whole swarm ready for full-scale operations, 24/7 patrols, and constant pressure on the enemy. You can launch one after another in rapid succession. But if we choose the Mojave, we have to accept a hard truth. Its wings are massive, 52 feet wide. Currently, it uses a fixed-wing design. It doesn't fold up with a simple button press like the TB3. While you can disassemble it for transport, that's not tactical in the middle of a battle on a swaying ship deck. With that wingspan, one Mojave takes up the parking spot of 2 fighter jets. It's a deck hog. So, on a small carrier like that, if we want to operate without clogging up the deck and freezing operations, we could probably only carry 2 to 4 Mojaves max. It becomes a logistical puzzle of deck Tetris just to move them around. Do you see the picture? The TB3 is an air superiority swarm, focusing on numbers and saturation. The Mojave is like aerial special forces, few in number, but when they launch, it's absolute hell for the enemy. You drop 16 Hellfires on a high-value target, and you come home. In the end, the General Atomics Mojave isn't just a new drone, it's a concept car for the military, proving that in the battlefields of tomorrow, flexibility is the new armor. Whoever adapts faster, moves more freely, and relies less on vulnerable runways is the one who holds the advantage. What about you guys? What do you think? If your military had a limited budget, would you choose the quantity of the TB3 or the decisive quality of the Mojave? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this deep dive, no fluff, just facts, please smash that like button and subscribe to support the channel. I'll see you in the next one.